Okay, I am live, but I can't get it up on my laptop. So hold on just a second. I know it's always delayed about 20 seconds, but it's kind of been more than 20 seconds. Okay, there I am. Finally. All right, let me see if I'm straight on the screen here and turn my volume off. Boy, it doesn't look very bright here. I changed my matte color, so this doesn't look very good. So let me go grab some black cardstock. Maybe it's gonna look a little bit better, so I'm not sure. But let me do that while you guys are finding me on my channel. I haven't done a live in such a long time, so I'm a little rusty, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna just put this down so I can kind of see what it looks like. And let me just see what my screen shows. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. So what I'll do is I'm gonna leave this on here and I'm just gonna tack it down with my seal just in case it really doesn't work. I can easily take this off. Okay, it looks like I've got 3 people watching, so that's good. Let me know if you could hear me and everything looks good. And then we will begin our live class. It's a flash class. So this is a class I'm offering. I emailed it out yesterday. So if you're on my email list, you would have received it. Or if you are a follower on my Facebook page, you would see it there as well. So looks like, okay. All right, Gus, it looks fine. Sound and view are fine. Okay, thanks, Debbie. Okay, so I am offering a flash class. So what is a flash class? Well, it's a class that I've already ordered all the product and it's on its way from Utah. And it takes about a week to get from Utah to Vermont. As we all know, on the East Coast, it's not a lot of, we have to wait quite a bit of time unless we do expedited shipping. So I kind of want to save a little bit of money and also save you money as well. So I have very few of these and I pre-ordered all of the product. So again, it's on its way. But my flash class is basically a class that I'm going to show you and it's going to be offered and you have less or like a week or less than a week now to order it. And then it'll be done. So I put this out yesterday and this ordering special is only available until the 20th of February and it's while supplies last. So if I can't get, so if I say I've got 10 kits coming on my way onto my house, if I get 11 orders, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fill that 11th order. It all depends. And so it's best to get your order in really quickly. I do have a couple left. I've already got some orders for them. So make sure you get the order in quickly. You can get this information at my website. I have it posted under a blog post inspiredbygraham.com. So it's $52 and it includes quite a bit of product. So you're going to get the Butterfly Garden kit, which looks like this. And I don't have the original because I've used most of it. But I'm creating a lot of cards with this kit. And what we're going to do is in the kits that from me, you'll make 3 of the original because I always like to do that. And then the other ones, we will be using bits and pieces of the kits to make some really incredible looking cards. So you'll get this. And also in that kit, you do get a stamp set. And it's got 2 butterflies and 3 sentiments. And we use every single one. You'll also get a clear stamping block. I did not open mine because I'm going to save this to give away at another class. Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. So you'll have your ink, you got your block, you got your stamp set. Those are yours to keep. And then you're going to get a half a pack of the Lovely and Beautiful Specialty designer series paper, a half a pack. I've got to cut it 6 by 6 so that I can save on postage going to you. So that's why it's cut 6 by 6. And let me show you this really gorgeous paper. You'll see it in the cards we make today. However, I just wanted to give you a quick look. It's a specialty paper because it has some foil in it. So it's just gorgeous. It's very springy colors, lots of Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, Petal Pink, Fresh Freesia. So we're going to use, let's see, I don't think I used this pattern, but I did use this one here. Then it's got the Fresh Freesia. Let me just zoom out a little bit because it's a little too close. Okay, and this one is gorgeous. I would use this not only on cards, but on journal fronts or album fronts because the flower is just so pretty. And then we've got Petal Pink and White on the back side. We use that one too. And then here's this one. I gotta figure out if there's a right, yeah, I think there's a right and wrong way for this paper, but it's honestly hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. I think it goes this way. But anyway, you guys get it. So that's one side, and then I do use this side. It's Calypso Coral, Petal Pink. Here's some gold flowers, just gold and white. You can see all that foil shine. And then on the back side, we got some really pretty flowers, and those are in, let's see, Fresh Freesia and, oh gosh, I'm gonna draw on a blank on the paper. It'll come to me. I'm sure it will, right? And then here's another design we're going to make. This one we'll be using it for a fun fold card, and I've never made that fun fold card before. It's a simple one. Peach pie, you guys. I told you it would come to me. Here's the peach pie flowers with Fresh Freesia. Okay, so I knew I would remember it, but anyway, this design is really nice too, so we'll be using that one as well. Okay, and that one too, I believe. So every single pattern in this pack I love, and again, it works great for journals, albums, card making, all that good stuff. And also this pattern right here, the smaller ones, I'm in the middle of making those mini sticky notes, and I have I've got it halfway done, and I'll have a video tutorial for you, an updated one, fairly soon. I'd like to get through and complete most of them, and I'm going to try to complete all of them except for 10 so I can show you the mass production on that. So this pattern would work really, really nicely on mini sticky notes. But that's another topic for another time. So you're going to get half a pack cut 6 by 6, and that's to save money on postage. If I didn't cut it 6 by 6, then the postage would have gone up to like $15, and I think we can all work with 6 by 6 paper. And then also you're going to get all the pre-cut paper pieces, which you'll see here as I make the cards. And then it comes with white dot embellishments. So this is what's left over from the first round. And I should be able to get through the entire cards, 3 each, hopefully, and have just a few left. I do have 2 butterflies left, so I can create another card, or maybe I'll use them on some of the ones we're making today as a little peekaboo to the inside. I'm also going to provide step-by-step printed instructions so that if you need instructions, I'm a visual person. I learn visually, but some people learn with tutorials. So I'll make sure that there's a step-by-step printed instructions in your kit, along with I'll email the PDF to you too. And you'll have the video recording, which is going to be today's live. And then I've got a bonus of 3 medium white envelopes. Those are for free because you'll be able to make more cards. And I just wanted to, I ended up with 3 card bases that I didn't use. So here's 3 envelopes for those. Okay, we're going to make 9 cards from this kit, but you'll see I'm making a ton more. So like 18. All right, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you the cards as we make them. And these are their 3 originals, and I made them exactly how they have them in. Let me just get that little flap of that butterfly on top. I made them exactly how they have them in the kit. And then I did stamp on the inside with Misty Moonlight butterflies. I'm not going to create this card, but I wanted to show it to you. And then here's another one, I'm always here for you. And on the inside, I didn't stamp anything, but I gotta go back and stamp in Misty Moonlight and that one. This is really pretty. I did hit it with Winka Stella, so I'm gonna actually go grab my Winka Stella because I'll be adding that to the cards today. And then here's another one. So I wish I could have grabbed this kit earlier for my independent living facility class next week because I know they would really, really like these cards. So let me just go grab my Winka Stella. It'll be like 2 seconds and I'll be right back to you. I hope you guys are having a great day. It's Friday the 13th, so hopefully nothing will go wrong in this video. But let's get started. So we're going to go just as I have them. I have them all stacked up here. I don't even know really how it's all going to go. But first thing, we're going to mount our stamps. And as you know, Stampin' Up! Has changed their stamps. They're no longer making photopolymer stamps. So, or no, they're not making cling stamps. I'm so sorry. They're only making photopolymer stamps. So the big thing is they don't usually come with the stamped background. So they give us what it looks like. Thanks for being you, sending you strength. I'm always here for you in the small and large butterfly. So there's different ways you can do this. Some people are stamping and then putting it on the opposite side of the like insert, but we don't have that here, but we do have this one. I want to show you what I've been doing with my normal kits or my normal stamp sets. Let me just grab my Sharpie, and this is not going to work. Let me turn this around here. We're probably going to go back and forth. Hopefully you can, I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so what I've been doing is I've been taking a Sharpie pen. And I know I didn't do this step because I wanted to show you. And I remounted these on in no particular order, but they all fit on the clear sheet. So you can easily, and I'm going to try this with a thin Sharpie pen. I don't know if it'll work with a thin, but I do have my regular size next to me here. All I have been doing is I'm tracing out the stamp. And I just go around really slow so I can get all those little curves. Let me just turn it around here. It's a little bit harder to do it on a live than it is in person. Okay, so now there's my butterfly. Okay, next step is I'm just going to go around and I'm going to just go around each stamp. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to know what stamp I'm missing if I tend to lose them. So, and I know I'll have this in my book, but I also want to be able to know, quick look on this little clear sheet where they go, and also if I set one aside and can't find it, I can go back and kind of look at the image on the clear sheet here. So that's what I've been doing. And it just takes a little bit longer than probably inking up your stamps itself. But I tell you what, I've been doing that. I tried that and it really didn't work for me because I would be getting ink all over everything. And it was just making a hot mess. So I saw another demonstrator do this. I'm like, well, that's a great idea. So that's what Karen's going to be doing from now on until I can find a different method. But I'm going to actually take this pen away, and I'm going to bring in a bigger one. Just because I think that other one was losing its ink color. So you can actually see this line better with a regular chisel point Sharpie. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and do that. Thin ones don't work, but the larger one does. So I just wanted to let you know that's what I've been doing for my photopolymer stamps. What have you guys been doing? I would love to learn from you as well. That would be awesome. Just, you know, put your comment down there, and maybe we all can learn from one another. Okay, another thing you want to do when you are mounting your photopolymer stamps, you don't want to just pull them off the sheet and put them on your block, because photopolymer stamps, they kind of bend. So the best thing you want to do is really just put it on your paper. And then for sentiments, I always put my block at a diagonal. And that way, when I put the block down, I know that that stamp is not going to be crooked. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all of these. And actually, I think I need a B block on that first one. That's a C block, so that butterfly fits really nicely on this one. This smaller butterfly really goes on either a B or a C, doesn't really matter. Both of them will work. And then we've got 2 more sentiments here. So I'll go back and fix this with the thicker chisel point, but that's what I've been doing. And again, I don't know if I'll be able to see all the comments, because for YouTube doesn't really show me all the comments. Okay, Debbie Franklin, that is gorgeous, and I just placed an order. That is the last comment I see. All right, so now I've got them all mounted and they're ready to go. And again, we're going to be using all of them. So our first card here today is I'm Always With You. And it's made with Lost Lagoon as a card base. Excuse this little mess here. Oops, let me zoom out. Geez. Excuse that little mess. I got a little bit of a mistake there, but you can see how this one all goes. So I'm going to be cutting down the card base that you get in the kit to make this card. All right, and then we'll do some stamping and all that good stuff. So I put some cheat sheets there just because I would never remember what the sizes are, because they're kind of different as we go through the kits. But I have, let's see, here's the card base that is in the kit. I'm going to be cutting this one apart, but let me show you the other pieces that go with this card here. I've got that huge butterfly, which is just gorgeous. And then I have Lost Lagoon, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and we will fold and burnish that one at 4 1/4. Grab my bone folder. I've got a little toolbox over here. I'm hoping I can stay somewhat organized. Okay, so if you don't do that, your card is going to go up like this, and it's really hard to work on a card that's kind of pointed up. So take the time to fold and burnish a couple times. That way that card base is going to lay flat for you. And then I've got another piece of, this is basic white, 3.5 by 4 1/4 or 3/4. And then I have a random sentiment strip because I ran out of these. So this one will do. It was a die cut. It was in my box of goodies here. And then a piece of basic black, which is 3 by 4. So we're going to take that card front, this one right here, and let me grab my paper trimmer. I'm going to cut this 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So what I did first was I measured the box here, the rectangle, and it is, I got to grab Mark's ruler. It is 2 3/4 by 4.5. So I don't really want So let me cut it down to 2 3/4 because that's super easy. We can just cut along those lines. So I'm going to put this piece in my paper trimmer. I'm going to look through the track here because I can see where that line is. And I'm just going to cut, and hopefully I can get that right on that line. This I'm not going to keep. I'll just put it in my recycle bin. And then over here, I'm going to turn it to 2 3/4, and it should match up, which it does. That's awesome. We're going to keep this. We're going to cut that down. And now I got to make it 3 3/4. So it's already at 5 1/2. And what I do is I go to 3 3/4. And I've got to take off all of this over here. So what I do is I start working like a 1/2 inch. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch off the bottom and then a 1/2 inch at the top. And that's what we've got so far. All right. So we still need to trim it down to 3 3/4. So when I'm looking at this, I look at the background and I can see that background is right here, and I want to get rid of that. And this down here is flush and it doesn't have any of that, like the background to that card base. So we're going to cut it at 3 3/4 and then we should be fine. So 2 3/4. So we got it at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. We are done with our paper trimmer for right now. And now it's basically kind of some stamping, and then we will assemble the card. So let me grab my piercing mat. And I've got to have some scrap paper here because we are going to be probably stamping off the edge of the inside of the card. Oh shoot, I forgot to cut down that other piece. Let me do that right now. Sorry about that, you guys. So that left us with this beautiful panel, right? So you can use that on the inside of your card. So we're just going to simply cut that 4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to give us the inside. One of the layers for the inside. All right, so stamping, we've got this little piece here, which is taking place of that other little sentiment. I'm always here for you is what I'm going to stamp this one with. And it's going to be stamped in Misty Moonlight. And Misty Moonlight is primarily the color on the background here. I'm using a piercing mat because we need to do that with our photopolymer stamps. And let's see, here we go. I'm just going to ink that up, and then hopefully I can get this straight for you. All right, so I'm always here for you. And then let's look at the card here. We've got a little butterfly, and we have sending you strength. So to get this little butterfly a lighter color, we are going to figure out what color shade we would need. So I like to just use my scrap paper to do that. So 1, 2, 3, and sometimes we have to go 4. And then we're going to find that sending you strength, and we're going to stamp it on each one of these images. And you can see number 1 is a no-go. Oh, we see number 2 is a no-go as well because it's still pretty dark. And then it's going to be between 3 and 4. And I think 4 could be a little bit too light, especially if you don't have a lot of ink left on your block. It all depends on the pressure that you are pushing your stamp down, because if you really push down hard, you're going to get a lot of that ink gone. So we're going to go with 3rd generation ink. So let me grab that butterfly again. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn it, and we'll stamp this way towards the left. So that gives us a nice little background color in Misty Moonlight. And then we're going to go full strength, sending you strength. And then I just like creating little backgrounds underneath the words, the messages. For the envelope, we have different color envelopes in the kits, but I don't have any left because I used them for the original cards. So I'm going to take some basic white envelopes and I'm going to use that big butterfly. And then I'll just stamp a butterfly down there. On some of the other cards, I stamped them all the way around, all different ways. But this one right here is going to be basic. I don't think you need anything over in the corner here because you've already got that little message there. So let's grab our pieces and then we can finish up this one. So we got our basic black, which I know you won't be able to see, so let me just do this. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal today. I have no more liquid glue left. I'm waiting for my order to come in. Hopefully it comes soon. I think it's going to come on like Monday or Tuesday. I think I've got like 3 orders coming in the next week. So this has just got a 1/4 of an inch border. And then we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals just to give it some height. This is a really basic design, which I think really looks nice on just all different patterns of paper. It's a great design to mass produce as well. Let's get those backings off so we can stick it to the card front. We'll pull in the Lost Lagoon. It is directional, so make sure you're putting this on the correct way. Okay, then the butterfly, this gorgeous butterfly, I'm going to bend it in half and fold it. I use my bone folder too to get a real crisp fold there. Then I'm going to open it up, and on this sample card, I did use liquid glue here, but I don't really have a choice, so we're going to add some adhesive to it. And then we're going to add it to the front. Make sure it's straight, and you can look at the body of that butterfly to do so. And this way, it kind of still, the wings kind of come up still. So you could bend them all the way. I know it's going to get flat in the card, but when you pull it out of the envelope, or the envelope, the wings should still kind of pop up a little bit. This little sentiment here, I'm always with you, is going to get applied right to the center of that butterfly with some dimensionals. And then we'll just add it right in the middle. And now we'll work on the inside of the card. We've got this card base that we cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. And that goes right on. Oops, look at that little dimensional backing. We find them everywhere. That's going to go right there. And then we're going to adhere this one right to the inside. And then I'm just kind of looking at the top, bottom, left, and right before I do adhere this down, just so that I can get somewhat equal borders all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to embellish it with the white dots here. And what I did with the other cards, I used 1 of the big ones and 2 of the small ones. I don't think we're going to make it through the class here with what embellishments I have left, but we'll see how far they do go. I always use 3, so can count on that. So 1, 2, and let's go, oh boy, let's go up here in that blue area. The final touch I did on every single one of these cards is add Wink of Stella. And I like to do that, especially on butterflies. I think they should kind of sparkle. They do in real life anyway. So I'm just kind of just brush stroking really on this one. Then I also will, let's see, no, I did not add it to the inside there. But that is your card number 1. So here's our sample. And then here's the one we just made together. And then here's one of the envelopes. Okay, so that's card number 1. Set that one aside, and we're going to move on to card number 2, which is kind of the same layout in design, but I'm using a little bit different sizes. So again, we're going to cut down a card base, and I am going to put my little sticky note here in case you want to write down the sizes of the designer series paper. The middle here is a card front, so we're going to cut that one down to 3 by 4. And then we have actually 2 pieces of designer series paper. We have one strip here that's 1 1/4 inch, and then I added another one, which is really hard to see. And that one's at 3/4 of an inch. So let's cut down that card base first. I can't believe I had all of these. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do a video or not because I didn't sure if I'd have enough pieces to do 2 cards, but I did. I was really shocked, to be honest with you. Okay, we'll cut this one down first. So let's grab that paper trimmer once again, and this is going to be 3 by 4. So I'm going to check my ruler just to see what that rectangle size is on the inside here. And it shows that it's 3 1/4, almost 3 1/4 by 4 probably 4 3/8. And I want it to be 3 by 4. Okay, so what I'll do is, I need that paper trimmer. I don't know why I put it off to the side, but I do need it. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my track on the end of that line there, or the panel, this little rectangle. And I'm going to cut it down on both sides. And then what I like to do is I like to look at the image to see what I want to cut off and what I don't want to cut off. And I really think there's like, if I could cut off one side and only one side, I would choose this side because of all of this, like, I think it's soft sea foam color, because there's just too much of it. So if I can cut it down any, I'm going to do that. So it's a little bit over 1/4 of an inch, or maybe it is around 1/4 of an inch. But that just eliminated some of that background. Now the other size is 4 inches. So we know that this is, I think I said 4 1/2 or thereabouts. So I'm going to cut on that line. So we cut down to that little rectangle, and then I'm going to turn it around and cut it again on that line. And then I look at it to see where I want to cut off that. I think it's 1/4 of an inch. And again, I'm looking down here and I see a little bit of this green here, which I think we can eliminate. So we'll just cut another 1/4 of an inch off. And now I have my 3 by 4. And then again, we're going to take this rest of the card base that comes with the kit, and we're going to cut that down 4 to 5 1/4. So 4 inches across and 5 1/4 up and down your height. All right, we've got our basic white thick, which we will fold and burnish once again. And we've got that laying down really nice and flat for us, so it's easy to work with. I already have the Sending You Strength stamped, but it's stamped a little crooked, so I'm going to try to stamp that a little bit better. I think why I have it left is because it's crooked and I set it aside, but I'm going to try to get a little bit straighter sentiment there, and that will be in Garden Green. So I got to clean my stamps because they've already got ink on them, and I don't want to contaminate my Garden Green with Misty Moonlight. So I'll just take my Stampin' Scrub and just squirt it with some Stampin' Mist. And then while I'm at it, I know I'm going to use these stamps multiple times, so I'm just going to clean these all off at the same time. It'll save a little bit of time in the video here. Okay, so we've got this little piece here, Sending You Strength, and I'm going to find it right here. Garden Green is our color of choice for this one. And let me see if I can get a little bit straighter. All right, I think that's better. I think we'll use the back side of this one. And then on the inside of the white, we have a little peekaboo. We don't have any stamping. You could stamp Sending You Strength. Let's see. I'm always here for you. You could do that. I'm always here for you on the inside. Why don't we do that? I'm going to do that on the original as well. And that will be stamped in Garden Green. Let's see. I think maybe right about there. Okay, and then we'll stamp this one. Okay, that's all of our stamping except for our envelope. And let's grab that scrap paper. And I'm just going to stamp with the small butterfly. We're going to stamp the bottom of it. So I'm just going to go back and forth with these little butterflies. Try to put them in different positions. Oops, I got a little bit of boo-boo there. I think this is wicked juicy, this Garden Green. Okay, so I think that's fine. Normally I would be stamping that angel policy on the back side of the cards, but I'm going to skip that for today. All right, so hopefully you took a screenshot of the sizes of the DSP. If you haven't, then now's the time to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to set it over here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but let's put this thing together. We've got that one we just cut out. We've got Garden Green. We've got 2 strips of the designer paper, and then our card base. So let's do the easy step first, and that's just to glue these 2 together with that little bit of border, just like the other card. This is directional, so you've got to be careful about that. You don't want your flowers going upside down. So that's all set. And now we are going to, let's see. All right, we're going to take these 2 strips. This one is 1 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then the other one is 3/4 of an inch across by 5 1/2. So just kind of play around with it. I'm going to layer these over each other. So I like to just kind of set things on the card base the best I can before I tack them down. And then this is going to be popped up. So let me just give this panel some dimension. So it's going to kind of look like that if I use those two. But I can fool around with it to see maybe it would look better with that smaller size in petal pink. I think it's going to look better if I do that. This will pop a little bit more. So let's adhere these down. What I do first is I add adhesive to the back side of the larger strip, and it's right on the edge here. I go about some just 1/2 inch tick marks here. And now I'm going to glue it just over the edge of that petal pink strip. Then we'll add some more adhesive. Bring that card base in. And I do want it to go with the petal pink on the inside. And I'm going to bring this in about 3/8 of an inch. Lining it up top to bottom. So if your paper is over the edge, you can just trim that off with your scissors. Mine looks pretty good. And then we're going to add this one here. Again, it's directional, so make sure you have it in the right direction. And what I'm doing is I'm going to put the same amount of white space that I have on the left on the right. I'm not getting my ruler out. I'm just eyeballing it. And then here's our sentiment. And then just remove these. And then I'm putting it down in this space right here because I want to cover that up. So I think this is a really nice place to put it in. If you haven't noticed already, I'm not using any ribbon or twine in this class. I'm just using the embellishments that come with the kit. Now we can take this panel here that we stamped and we can adhere that right inside. I love that the card bases oh my gosh, there's a ton of snow that just came off our roof. It's been up there probably for 2 weeks from the last 2 snowstorms we've had. That tells you that we haven't had a lot of sun here in Vermont. Today it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go for my walk after I complete this live because it just, I don't know, it's probably like 30 degrees out there. Okay, so far so good. Again, we're going to take that little butterfly. I'm going to fold it in half. Take my bone folder just to get a nice little burnished line there. Then I will take my glue. And then again, I'm going to fold it in half. And I want to create this little peekaboo. On this one, I used the larger butterfly. On this one, I had the smaller one left. So I want to put it right against the score line. Isn't that cute? And then you can kind of, you can kind of poke these up a little bit because it's not all glued down. Okay, our next to final step would be our embellishments. So again, I'll take one large and let's just add that one right here as the same spot I did on the other one. And then we'll go over here. And then let's go over here this time. Oops, right about here. Let's go right about here. I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, of course, and I'm just going to kind of just like brush stroke around the flower itself. Not all of it. I just want a little bit of glitter on that card front. It's kind of a matted look, so by adding the Wink of Stella, it's going to give you a much better look. And I'm also adding it to the leaves there. And don't forget this leaf down here, you can kind of see it. Maybe some flowers right there. And then on the inside, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to decorate this with some Wink of Stella. And there you have it. That's card number, I think, 2. So I don't know if you can see that Wink of Stella, but it's there. And then here's our envelope. And then you can see the difference between these two cards. Where on this side I used the foil paper, and this one just really does pop a lot more. So that kind of gives you 2 different looks. And I'm looking at the laptop right now, and I can definitely tell this one really does pop. What DSP is the pink flower from? That's pretty. This one right here, it's from the Butterfly Garden Kit. If that's the one you're talking about, this is for my class offering that I'm just marketed yesterday. It's my flash class, and we did cut it down from a card base. Okay, so that's our second card. Our next card is a really nice one with the other card base, the final card base. Okay, and your dimensions for the front of that DSP from the card base are right here, 2 3/4 by 4, and then the DSP along the side is 2 by 5.5. So again, we're going to take our card base that comes in the kit, and we're going to cut it down. Same way I did on the other 2 cards. And then the next cards we're going to make from scratch. Well, I'm making them from scratch, but not with card bases. So again, let's measure this little rectangle that's in here. And it's about 2 and maybe 2 5/8 by 4 1/8, around there. So, whoops, I did that again. I put that away. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, I need it to be 2 3/4. So again, we're just going to cut this right out. Let's cut these strips out. We'll get that rectangle workable. We'll use this for the inside, and then I'm going to cut this one down as well. And this one needs to be 4 inches. So I'm just going to cut this little extra off from the top. It was just about that much, not very much. And now this has to be 2 3/4, and right now it's, ooh, I cut it too much, you guys. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to cut down that clips of coral. I went a little too fast, so that should have been 2 3/4 by 4, but we'll figure it out. And while I have my paper trimmer out, let's just do that. Looks like I just need to take off like 1/8 of an inch of that clips of coral. So let's see if that works. That's what happens when you go a little bit too fast, but hello, we've got a way to fix our mistakes. Let's work on that insert. So this is going to again be 4 by 5 1/4. I got to clean that paper trimmer. It's got a little bit of adhesive on it. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So let's see what we've got here. I got everything crazy everywhere. We've got that butterfly. We've got our sentiment. And okay, this is what I did. Okay, so I might do this 2 different ways. So your butterflies, the this size come like this. And they're meant to be stamped on with the larger stamp, which is this one right here. And it fits perfectly. So, for example, here's one of the little ones. And all I did was stamp with Memento Black on the top. And it created all those little lines there. So let me grab my cleaner here so we can just clean up those butterflies and sentiments, and then we can do a little bit of stamping. Please let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comments. Hopefully I will see them. Once in a while I'll see something, but I don't know if YouTube is giving me all of your comments or not. Okay. Okay, let's stamp this. Okay, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm gonna bring in my piercing mat because we know we need it. Let's clean this up. Let's get rid of this sheet. So I'm going to show you two things on that one. But let's stamp our butterfly here. We're going to use Calypso Coral, which is a really, it's a nice orange color. And we're going to use that large butterfly. And I want to stamp it right in the corner here. And we get this really nice image. And then I'm going to, since I've got the Calypso Coral out, the sentiment we're going to use is "Thanks for being you." Let's see, where are you? Thanks. I like this stamp set because, oh boy, I don't know if this one's going to fit. It's going to be really close. Because you're meant to use this die cut from the kit, but I didn't have any of those left over. But guess what? It does fit. It fits nice. Okay, you just have to take it slow when you stamp. Now let's bring in our Memento Black. And I'm going to clean that big butterfly. And let's get that orange off it. And we'll just clean these as well. Now, like I said, you can stamp on this. So we'll take the Memento Black. And when I use Memento Black, I like to take the ink pad to the stamp itself. That's why I can see where the ink is. And I like to give it a little dance here back and forth and tap it. And I'll look again, make sure it's okay. And then we can stamp right over here. And I'll have to bring it closer to me because of the glare of my light above me. So I'm going to do this off camera, and I'm sure you're going to see my head. Oh boy, that was horrible. Well, I kind of got it, but not really. So if you mess up like that, don't worry about it. Let's flip it over. And that's what I did on this one. I kind of didn't stamp very well, and I just flipped it over. And I stamped in Calypso Coral. So I will just clean off that larger stamp. I'll just stamp on here because it's black. I don't want the black in my Calypso Coral. And I know you probably can't see this because of that white background. So let me move that paper. And again, I'm going to hover over the image. I'm looking at the antennas, mainly the body itself. There, that's a lot better. Let's see, I think we're all done with our Calypso Coral. Okay, we are going to, let's put this card together. again, the same way as the other cards that we just made, the other two. I think we've got 3 more to make. Oh, put this in front so we can kind of see what it's going to look like. I'm going to have to use my edge pieces in just a minute here. Looks like I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I taught a class yesterday, and it was a new class, and I forgot to tell them we were using the adhesive strips in the class, and we didn't use all of them. But when I went to the garbage bin, I saw so many adhesive strips that haven't been used thrown away, and I was like, oh no, that's like a bonus. I'm digging through the garbage can. So I did, and I got a huge stack of adhesive strips. So that was a fun find. So again, don't throw out your edge pieces. They are valuable. So I'm just going to prep this right now. And then our next step is to add the designer paper to the left side of the card. And that's super simple. And this is 2 by 5.5. It should be. I like to use a little bit darker colors on the white card base. Wherever my card base went. I gotta look for it. There it is. It's underneath. Looks like I gotta fold. Did I fold and burnish that one? Nope, not yet. So let's do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, the first thing we need to do is add this layer of designer paper underneath. So I've got all that adhesive on. I'm going to look at that pattern just to make sure. I think it is a little bit, whoops, a little bit directional. Oh my gosh, everything's going everywhere. So I'm going to turn it that way. And again, just like that other card, I'm going to come in about 3/8 of an inch. Add it down, and then I do check to make sure it's not going over the edge too much. And then if it is, I'll trim it down. And then we're going to add this piece here. It is directional. Make sure your flowers are going upwards. And then there we go. This butterfly here is a little bit smaller than our original card, but it's what I had. And I'll just bend it again, just a little bit. Add some adhesive right there. I like having it flying away. And see how that kind of does pop up a little bit. The thanks for being you is also going to get popped up. So do you guys see a pattern in this? The first 3 cards are basically built off of one another, making it super simple to create this class and make it. Okay, so that's good. Now on the inside, we're going to work with that. We're going to decorate that inside with this panel here that we cut down and stamped on. Okay, and now we're going to add this little butterfly on top of this one. We're going to match it up because it's the same, it should be the same size. And then you can bend up the little wings, and then you can get a little peekaboo on the inside. A little bit of adhesive there. Okay, Wink Estella most definitely is going to go on here along with our embellishments. So we'll go, I'm going to put one right on that little flower there in the middle. And then 1, 2, ooh, I'm going to run out. 3. Okay, Wink of Stella's next. You can also do the Wink of Stella at it on all the cards at the very end. And I'm going to color in just the middle. And then let's add a little bit to this one here. You got to be careful because the Calypso Coral ink may run a little bit. So just little light, like dabs, kind of. Okay, so thanks for being you. And then there's a little peekaboo on the inside. I didn't stamp the envelope because we've seen that plenty of times. I won't bore you with that. We can all stamp an envelope. Okay, we're going to clean up those stamps again, and then we're going to come in with a fun fold using our designer paper. And since you're getting 4 6x6 pieces, you could make 4 cards. You have to bring in some of your own supplies to do it, but the way this layout is, you can do it. So let's look at it. I've done a little bit of a pre-emboss, dry embossing, and I love this embossing folder. If you don't have it, you got to get it. It's called Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder. And the item number on it is 167196. And it creates the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen. And I embossed it in petal pink. And I hope you can see what that looks like. This is, I think it's a 2-inch circle punch. So what I did was I punched out the circles first, and then I dry embossed, and it came out like this. It's so nice, you guys. Definitely get this embossing folder if you don't have it already. And again, it's called the Lazy Daisy 3D. Hello, Deborah. I can see that you just signed on here. Thank you so much. Oh, and Carla's on here too. Perfect. Okay, so let's look at this one. It's really pretty. It uses 1/4 of your cardstock, 8.5 by 11. It's cut 4 1/4 by 5.5, and the designer paper does most of the work. So that's the inside. Do you see that? That the front is the designer paper, and then we've got the inside. I think this is so pretty, you guys, in person. And I know you will like it too. Don't forget, this is a limited number of classes that I can sell because I only have ordered so many kits. So you can get all the info at inspiredbygram.com. If you're not on my marketing email list, you would have gotten this yesterday, the information about it. And it's also on my Facebook page, Inspired by Gram. We're going to do a little bit of stamping again with Calypso Coral. We're going to stamp a little butterfly inside this 1 3/4 inch circle punch in basic white. Oh, that's not centered. Let's try that again. I think I did the same thing, you guys. I think I did. Oh, well. Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay. Here's that circle again. Beautiful. And then our sentiment is one of the labels that was left over. So we will find that I'm always here for you. Somewhere over here. And that is going to be stamped in Calypso Coral. There you go. And I can't remember what we did on the inside. Okay, we did some butterflies. So we'll take that. This is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And I used both butterflies. So we'll start with the larger one at the bottom. And then the smaller one. And 3's odd numbers. This is bothering me because you guys know I don't do odd even numbers. So I'm going to stamp a 3rd butterfly, and I'm going to bring this one in too and stamp another one. There we go. Okay, I'm just think we have everything. So let's close this one up. Now, I've got this piece here, and this is cut 6 inches across by 5 1/4, and I've already pre-scored it at 2 inches. I think it's 2 inches. Yep, 2 inches. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this over. And I'm going to use my bone folder to get that crisp fold. Oh, actually, hold on just a second. I forgot. This is directional. Oh boy, did I cut this wrong? Well, I only have one way to go. It's going to go in the card like that, unless it opens up the other way. No, I think that's right. The leaves go up. Okay, so let's grab that peach pie. And we are simply going to add adhesive on this portion here. I love this Calypso Coral and Petal Pink theme. Then we're going to take our peach pie, and I like to rotate my panel so I can see it. We're making sure it's going the correct direction. And then we're going to just center this right on this panel. And this creates that little flap like that. Okay, everything else is super easy to put together. So we can put together that inside. It's easiest. So I'm looking at the top, the bottom, left, and the right. Just try to get as equal as I can. And then we're going to take this little beautiful Petal Pink embossed circle. Usually I use liquid glue for embossed images here, but you guys know the story. I hate to cover up DSP, really I do. But maybe I can go the opposite way. I really like the fresh freesia over here, because if I add this here, and then we're going to pop this one up, it's starting to cover this. So let's go the opposite way and see what we can do. So we'll put this right about here. And then dimensionals go on the back of this one here. For circles, I just like to use, go some more snow. I create like a triangle. Just press those down. And then I'm just going to go opposite. I'm going to cover up a little bit, but not too much. I like that center flower. You can also put it, rather than straight up and down, you can, let's have it flying away towards the left side. That way we can get a real good look at something different. And then we're going to just sneak this sentiment right in between. This does not get popped up. It's going to be at the same height as that Petal Pink. I'm going to slide it under the circle just a little bit. And then I want to make sure it's straight before I really stick it down. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's add some more embellishments. I only have a few left. I got 4 left. So let's see. I'm going to take a big one and put it over here in that little corner area. And I'll do the same. Well, let's put one over here and then one left. And let's create our little triangle. Oops, that's too straight up and down. Let's go up higher. Okay, Wink Estella, of course, because we got to make it glitter. This one's really fun to do because there's so many like different images that you can add some glitter to. So again, I just brush stroke, do some tapping. I don't fill them all in. I think less is better, you know, rather than taking the time to just fully add Wink Estella to everything. I just do like little scribbly lines. That's it. You could actually add some sparkle to the center of those little daisies too. Okay. So let's put these side by side so you can kind of see the difference in the two. This is my sample. This is the one we just made together. I think I should have had this butterfly actually going this way rather than this way. But other than that, I think they look really nice. I did not add Wink Estella. So to the stamp butterflies, let's just do the body. There. Okay. We got 2 more cards left. The next one is a gatefold card with a belly band. This one is super fun to make and it's super easy. Okay, here's your belly band. Belly band just kind of closes up things. You can use them on boxes, cards, and then it slips off. And then you have the inside of your card, and I created this one, so it's got designer paper on the front side and the back side. And that's like, bam, right? Fresh Freesia is our color that we'll be stamping with, along with Old Olive. Old Olive is in the color of the designer paper. So again, super easy to make, and it uses 1 3/4 inch by 5 1/4. So you can get 2 of these strips out of 1 full strength of, or strip of 12 by 12. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got some stamping to do first, but then putting this together is really easy. Okay, here are the butterflies. I did stamp them originally like this, and I'm going to flip it over because we'll be stamping them in Fresh Freesia. My sentiment here is this one here. I did get some Misty Moonlight on it a while ago, so I'll probably be using the back side of it. And then we've got, I got to stamp another one on that one. We'll be doing some stamping on this. This is no stamping, and I think that's all our stamping. So let's grab that Fresh Freesia. And my Stampin' Scrub. I hope you guys are enjoying the class today. This is my flash class using Butterfly Garden. And I really want to do a lot more of these flash classes using kits and creating our own cards as well. Let me know what you would like to see. What kit would you like to see next? I like these flash classes. They're fun. They're quick and easy. They're meant to be quick and easy cards as well. Hello, Sherry. Nice to see you here. Okay, so we've got, again, fresh freesia. This is going to be a thank you card. So I'm going to stamp the thanks first because I think I'm going to have to flip it over and use the other side just because of that little mark of Misty Moonlight. So, but I'm going to give it a try first. Yeah, let's just flip it over. Okay, so that's done. And now we're going to use the back side of the butterflies and we'll stamp those in fresh freesia. So here's the large one. And again, I got to put this kind of in front of me just because of the glare. I don't think I got that one too good, but let's see. Not bad. And then we'll grab this little butterfly and do the same thing. I love that we can stamp on the back side of these. Okay. Now we will stamp, let's go, since I'm going to add 3 this time, I'm going to go small, then large, and then small. And on the original card, I just used the smaller butterfly. That looks really cute with we'll call that the mommy butterfly. Let me just add one more here. There. And since I got my envelope handy in my site, I'm just going to stamp one little butterfly down there in the corner and call it good. Okay, so now to put this thing together. Here's that belly band that we're going to create, but let's work with a card base first. So I've got, oh, I got to score this for you too. I wanted to show you. So we will score because we need to fold in the sides like that. So I'm going to just double check my scoring line. I believe it's 2 1/8, but I just want to double check before I do score. Yes, 2 1/8. So we've got on our paper trimmer, we've got the darker blade, which is the cutting blade. We got to get that out of the way. And then we're going to score at 2 1/8. And 2 1/8 is 2 tick marks to the left side of the 2-inch mark. And then we're going to score it. I like to go up like 4 times just to get a deeper score line. I'm going to rotate it to the other side so I don't have to think about the math and pull my extension out. I'm going to, again, score it at 2 1/8. So again, 2 tick marks to the left of 2 inches. And that's our scoring for this one. We're going to fold it in and burnish it really nice. I found that I had to fold this one both ways so it would do what it wants to do. I really want that crisp fold there. And then I'm going to just one more time there. Okay, let's do the inside because that's going to be kind of the easiest place to start. So this is cut 4 by 5 1/4. You can use either side, whatever you want. You are going to have this here. If you use this design, well, then you might want to consider doing this. I personally like these smaller, so I'm going to create the same look as that original. So I'm going to add my adhesive on the, basically the pretty side with all that foil. And look, my shirt kind of matches today. That was not planned, by the way. It's just a nice warm shirt that I absolutely love. This is going to get centered in between those two score lines. And then we'll take our panel here and add that to the middle. And it'll get centered. And just like that. Now we've got 4. We should have 4 of these. 1, 2. Boy, I better have 4. I swear I cut 4. I'm looking, but it doesn't look like I cut 4. Why not? I swear I did, honestly, you guys. Well, I'm going to have to go get my paper. It's right here, so I don't have to go too far. I'm sure I'll find it later, but I swear I know I did. Oh, well. It's probably on my other desk. But you can watch me cut these strips here. So we're going to cut them at 1 3/4 of an inch. Let's just double check. Yep, 1 3/4. So we'll go over there, 1 3/4. And then 5 1/4. And we need 2 of these. Now we have 4. They're all going to be with the same design showing, so it should be really quick and easy because we really don't have to think about is there a right or wrong way because it's non-directional paper. Well, this could be my customer thank you card for this month. Now that I'm thinking of it. This paper is so gorgeous. I haven't checked to see any, checked on inventory today. Hopefully it's still available. I do have like 5 packs coming to me, so I at least know I have enough for my flash class. And if I need more, then I'll have to order more. This will go on the front. Now, if you don't want to use that 4 by 5 1/4 piece of the DSP, then you could use Old Olive. That would look really nice. Or you could probably get away with soft seafoam or fresh freesia, but honestly, my first choice would be Old Olive cardstock. That way you've got more designer paper to use. Okay, so here's the foundation of your card base is done. We've got it stamped. And now we're going to work with the focal point. And I find that it's easiest to put the belly band on first. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this piece of fresh freesia, and it's cut 1 inch by 8.5. And we want to, don't go too tight with it because then you won't be able to slide it up and down. So a little loose is better. And then we're going to bring it over. Now you can see that these don't match up to the ends. They're about 1/8 of an inch shy of matching up. That's okay. I'll show you why. We'll take that bone folder and just burnish it down so it it's easy to move up and down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some dimensionals to the fresh freesia because we're going to add this piece on there. I like to add them on the fresh freesia because if I add them on the basic white Stylish Shapes die cut circle, then I might not get them in the right place. So by putting them on your cardstock, it's a little bit easier. Okay, so we know we want one right there and then right here. And then what you can do before you take the backings off, you can add it, just kind of lay it here, and then put your thumb, like, or your, let's put an object right there. And now we can add some smaller pieces to, let's just, I have a little nice little edge piece here. You're going to want 2. And then it should be the same thing over here. So right about here is our end. I'll bring it in just a little bit. We don't want the dimensionals showing, so. Okay. I'm going to hold this down. And then we're going to add the circle and press down. And look, it slides up and down. Okay, we're going to decorate it next with our little butterflies that we stamped. And they get popped up. And I'm only going to add 1 dimensional piece to the back. And then the larger one is going to go right about here. And then the smaller one is put here. And then the thanks for being you gets adhered right to the circle. And this has got like a curve on it. So I want to line it up with the circle, the bottom of the circle edge. Okay, there you go. Doesn't that look great? And then on this one for Wink Stella, I would only put it around the edge. I mean, you could go on these little lines if you want to. And then this bigger one here. Looks like I need to re-ink my Fresh Freesia. And then I'll embellish it with something else. I mean, all that gold foil, really, you probably don't even need to embellish it. And there's that one. And again, you can do the same thing. So if you're going to put Wink Stella on the front, well, certainly you've got to put it on these in here so everything coordinates together. Okay, so that is, I don't even know what card number we're on. I think it's 8 because there's 9 in this class. So there's that one, and then our little belly band for the other one. Isn't this cute? Like, this is really fun, and it honestly didn't really take much time at all. What do you think so far? You liking the class? Let me know. Please let me know in the comments. It really helps me out. Okay, our last class, or card, excuse me, is like, I guess it's a flap card. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of looks like that. Basic black is our card base. And I used our Stampin' Blends to color in the butterfly. So we're gonna go ahead and create this one. I need to use my paper trimmer to show you how to cut this off, but it's really simple to do that. It's easiest if you leave your card base open like this. Don't fold it yet. And then we are going to put the trimmer on our desk. Yeah, we got our trimmer on our desk. And next thing we're going to do is I don't want to do this wrong because then my DSP is going to be wrong. I think we're going to cut off like 1 1/8. Yeah. Oh, wait. 1 1/4, it looks like. 1 1/4. So to do that, and it's going to be on the left side, okay? So I'm going to use the right side of my trimmer and put it at 1 3 or 1 1/4. And then my score line is right here. Okay, so my cut line is going to go up like this. I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to turn it and cut this way. So on our blade, there is a little etching right here. So that is where your blade is. Okay, so you have one on this side, you have one here, here, and here. And same with the scoring blade as well. So we're going to use that to line up to our score line. So that this mark right here is the one I want. So everything's tight. We're ready to go at 1 1/4. Did I say 1 1/4 or 1 1/8? Shoot. One 1/4. Okay, so lining it up at 1 1/4 on the right side. Take my blade and go really slow, because on that sample I went too far. So now I'm going to look to see where that little etching is. And it's okay if I don't go all the way up. I'd rather not go all the way up than go too far. And, oh, I got it spot on. Okay, so see here? Then we're just going to rotate this and cut it at 4 1/4. Okay, and then the same thing, but I'm going to start with a blade here and then just come up, and I'm just going to go really slow because it should just come off right about there. And there you have it. Okay, so you got this to use on something else. So that just created this little space. Now, if you did not cut your paper and it's kind of curved over, you have excess, then take your scissors and you can just trim off that little part of the score line. Okay. Just kind of like, here's a little piece of paper here. You try to have it as clean as you can. So on the sample card, I went a little bit too far, like 1/4 inch. So I have this little cut line right here. And there's really nothing I can do about it. Okay, so simple. I'm going to re-burnish this. Okay, burnish that part. You can burnish this too, just to make sure that cardstock is laying real flat. And let's bring in our stamping here. So we've got a stylish shaped square, and then we have a butterfly that I had pre-stamped, but we're going to use the back side. And then on the inside, we've got some butterflies in fresh freesia. And that is this piece right here, which is, I think it's 4x4. Yep, 4x4, so we don't have to worry about what direction it goes. So let's stamp Sending You Strength, and that is going to be in Memento Black to coordinate with the card base. And one last time to clean my stamps. I really like this stamp set. I mean, you can use it year round for sure. The fonts are nice. And who doesn't love butterflies? I know I'd like to see some right about now. I'm done with the snow. I'm done with the cold. And I want the snow to melt. So I can go hike and train. So, okay. Sending you strength. Let's get our little mat in here so we can get a nice image. Sending you strength. Again, for something small like this, I will just tap my Memento Black and maybe just kind of dance with it a little bit. And that should be enough ink on there. It might be too much. Not too bad. Sending you strength. And then let's stamp our butterfly, and that's going to be, again, in Memento Black. And let's just see. Hopefully I can do a good job for you. Ooh, not bad. Okay, so that's that. I lied. I fibbed. I do need to clean this stamp. Fresh Fuchsia is our next color. And we're going to take that 4x4 basic white. And we're going to stamp some little... Oh, I use the smaller butterfly, so let me do that. Again, odd numbers are pleasing, more pleasing to the eye than even. Since I got my envelope handy, I'm going to do the same thing. Let's stamp 3. Our next step is going to be using my Stampin' blends, and I'll try to be quick with this. Make sure you have scrap paper underneath. On my envelope, on my sample envelope, what I did was I did Stampin' Memento Black, and I colored in my envelope as well with the same design using my Stampin' blends. It did not bleed through because I used my brush stroking very light, and if you do that, then it should be just fine. So Petal Pink is my color here, the dark color. And I don't know if I'm almost out or not. I might have to switch over to Calypso Coral Light, but let's try the Petal Pink. I only used the dark colors. I did not use the lights to make it real easy. So I'm just matching up each little area with what I already colored over there. Okay, and then I'll bring in the dark Calypso Coral. I like to use the chisel points because I'm a little bit better at it. And since we've got black, Memento Black, it doesn't matter if I go outside the lines or not. I'm being quiet, so you might hear the snow come crashing down. Okay, so that's a Calypso Coral, and then we're going to move over to Dark Fresh Freesia for the rest. Now you could do this on every single butterfly if you wanted to. Okay, so there's our butterfly. Again, we use Fresh Freesia, Petal Pink, and Calypso Coral, all dark, and stamped the outline in Memento Black. So now to put this card together, it's fairly simple. I've got 4x4 piece of the designer paper. No panels or anything. It's just going to go straight on the black. And this one I don't think really is directional. That's the other side too. I did not use this pattern. It just wasn't colorful enough for me. You could use your Stampin' Blends to color in those flowers if you wanted to. So this is 4x4, so we really don't have to think about it. And then this one here, where's my little strip? This is 1 inch by 4, and it's just going to go right there. This is non-direct, I think it's non-directional. Again, I don't really know the name of this card, but I think it's called a flap card. Now, if you see, I've got a little bit of like cardstock flakes there, I call them. What you can do is take a sanding block and just sand them down. You might have to angle it a little bit, but it will take away those little pieces. Let's bring in that little square here that our sentiment is on, and this will get popped up as well. 4 should work. And then while I have my dimensionals in my hand, we're going to add some to the butterfly. And let's add, that should be enough. So we remove these backings, of course, because we want it to stick on our paper. This gets centered. And then our butterfly that we did use our Stampin' Blends and colored it to match gets centered. And I like the where it is, so I'll press it down. And then our stamp panel is going to go on the inside. If you're coming on, if you're just coming on, I'm going to go through all the cards at the very end and what my flash class is about. So hold on just a second. I don't have any embellishments to add to this card, but as you can see, I made, how many cards did I make? 18 cards, and I think just 2 cards didn't have embellishments on them. So That's pretty good. And I still have these 2 butterflies left. So I could do another thing. I could basically add them to here, one of these, maybe the middle one, stamp it in fresh freesia and call it good, okay? So there's ways to use your leftovers. We're gonna make this little butterfly sparkle up, and I'm gonna fill in. This time I'm not going to just brushstroke. I am gonna fill in all those colors because I want these colors to really pop and show off the wings here. And even the body, we can add some here. And the antennas, be careful though. I'm gonna put some more in there. Hopefully it won't come out as a blob. Sometimes it does. I'm going heavy with this Wink of Stella because I want it to have lots of glitter on it. There. And then these, I'll just do the body here. There we have it. So our last card for today. And I can't get rid of this because it's stuck, but so here's this one. So this is a flash class, my very, very first one, and I really hope it takes off. We are using the Butterfly Garden Kit. And let me pull in the information so you could take maybe a snapshot of it, or you can get the same information on my website, which is inspiredbygraham.com. So basically what it says is, join me for a beautiful butterfly garden flash class designed to spark your creativity and make card making simple and fun, which all these are. For just $52, you'll receive an all-inclusive kit to create at least 9 stunning cards. With my extra supplies in my craft room, I was able to make 18, and I got 2 butterflies left. Featuring the Butterfly Garden stamp set, in this class you will receive the Butterfly Garden photopolymer stamp set, which we've been using, a clear block, a stamp block, which I'm just going to save to put in my free bin. You get a Misty Moonlight Stampin' spot, so that's our ink pad. Lovely and Beautiful Specialty Designer Series paper, a half a pack, and it's cut 6x6 to fit in the box, and that creates less shipping expense. You'll have all the pre-cut paper pieces that I showed you today, the white dot embellishments, and I'm creating step-by-step printed instructions. You do have this video to refer back to. So everything is cut, coordinated, and ready for you to start creating. The kits are available only through February 20th, 20. Today's the 13th, so you got a week. Or while supplies last. So I only purchased, I believe, 10 of these kits. So I had to pre-order them because I want to make sure they were available. And they're expected to ship, my class is expected to ship the week of February 23rd. So once I get those kits, it's a really quick turnaround back to you. And then it says, don't wait. Once these kits are gone, they're gone. So secure your spot today and get ready to create something beautiful. This price of $52 does include shipping and handling, and it's not the shipping and handling that takes a week. It's the shipping and handling that takes about 3 days. And then bonus, you will receive 3 basic white medium envelopes for free. These are our beautiful, really nice envelopes. As you can see, I made quite a few cards here, more than 9 that from the card bases that are included in the Butterfly Garden Flash class. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. It doesn't look like there's any that I can see, but let me just scroll down to see if I see anything else pop up. It doesn't look like it. No. So I will, again, I have this information on my website, and I will also recap in an email for my email subscribers. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's class, February the 13th. I didn't make many mistakes whatsoever. Nothing really crashed and burned or anything like that in my room. So I'm going to sign off. It's almost 3 o'clock my time, and that's a time at 3:30. I always go for my daily walks. So have a great weekend, you guys, and happy Valentine's Day.